Hello, this is Dia Damson, and today we are going to paint on a bottle, and the bottle that I chose, it is olive oil, and I will be giving this as gift, so it's a very fun project. And this olive oil is directly from Italy, Kali oil, beautiful, tasty stuff. I'm not even getting paid for this. But the first thing that we are going to do is kind of practice the brush strokes. So I'm choosing a brush that is going to help me with any shape I would use for the painting, so I don't have to switch too much. I mean, if you want to switch around, that's totally fine. I just like when I'm going not to be stopping around too many times, so I usually choose like a round brush with a pretty good tip, so I can do bigger brush strokes or small brush strokes. And I will show you what not to do when you have a black bottle. Your paint, it will be too dark if you start directly with your paint, so do your artwork with white if the bottle is black or a dark color, and do that artwork like 2 layers of it in white, and then you're going to paint over that. So I am going to do really fast design, so I'm going to do the poinsettia, use the shape of the brush to kind of help me create that flower. And you can see that little design on the left hand side. It's pretty much what it's going to be, and I'm gonna add a few more branches and little swirlies on the side, little berries. I'm going to add a few other leaves and pretty much fill in the space between the labels. I would like to keep the label kind of visible because this oil is really good, so I don't want to hide the label. I want the label to be part of the kind of design. And I don't think I'm going to have a traceable for this because it's really elementary and super easy. So I'm doing right now the little branches of Christmas tree that are sticking around the poinsettia, just filling in the space. Also, I did few leaves that I'm gonna color green that are around the poinsettia, which will make it a little bit fuller looking. You also can do a poinsettia that has a few layers of red leaves, which will make it bigger and better. But I'm going to keep it simple. Also, I'm going to do back-to-back 2 variations of the bottle. So you're going to see on the end, I'll show you both examples. And so even the parts that are going on the label, the few leaves that are going on the label, I will still paint them white. So everything that I'm using, I'm going to paint white. You can use glass paint if you like, you just have to leave it to cure, or you can use acrylic paint and Mod Podge on the end on top of your design, so you kind of protect it from scratches or water. But this is going to be super simple design. And like I said, I will use this as a gift, so if you decide to do that as a gift, I'm sure whatever you take it, it's going to be an awesome thing. A few more leaves, just filling in the space. Do a lot more swirlies and leaves. You can also do the same design on a champagne bottle. So now I'm gonna start with the red, and I'm gonna go few variations of the red. I'll darken my red either with purple or with a little bit of blue if I want a little bit of a shadow, which I will want a little bit of a shadow. I'm leaving the center of the poinsettia clean center to that. The more leaves you add to your poinsettia, the better. So I'm kind of extending the tips of the poinsettia. This makes it look more whimsical, I guess. So for your greens, I'm gonna use just the green that's coming out of the bottle, and I'm just using a light green. Whatever green I had, it was working. But if you want to mix greens, mixing green with either ochre to make it more woodsy looking, or with a little bit of blue, it's going to give you a beautiful green. To lighten your green, it's better to use yellow than white. But obviously experiment and see. A lot of times I will mix a color just a little bit just to see what's gonna give me before I use it. And a few of those leaves, just fill in. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And I'm skipping a little bit ahead, so I'm gonna do the branches of the pine, and pretty much I am just doing brush strokes sideways from the center of that little element. And right away I want to start creating the element, so I am not filling in with green completely. I'm just going to do, even though the white pretty much merges really a lot in the center, that doesn't matter because I'm going to have few layers of the blue, green. I said blue. Yes, it will have some blue in it, which will give us a really cool look. And if you see when I'm doing the swirlies, I am skipping some parts because I'm going to add a different type of green on those parts. I did change a brush for that. Got a smaller brush and the berries. So when you're using a color, think, and you're trying to make it more fun and more three-dimensional, use that color in 3 variations. Have your main color, which will be red, and then you want to have that color a little bit darker and that color a little bit lighter. Now obviously when you're using yellow, lightening the red with white will give you pink, so be careful with that. It's probably better to use your color that is coming out of the tube and create 2 darker variations versus trying to make it lighter. And you want to add the highlight when your red is completely dry so it doesn't turn pink. So just filling in, it's already starting to look pretty cute. So you do have to make sure your layers are drying in between. So because we're gonna start with the first color of green for the leaves, and then I'm gonna start adding more elements. Let's say to the left or to the right, I'll make it a little bit darker, or a few lines from the center of the leaf to the right and left, just to give a little, let's say, like veins into the leaf. So I want the first color to be dry. And I will add also outlines to that. And I'm starting with the tail brush, and I'm going to start adding shadows. And I mixed green with blue to create those shadows, and also filling in those white spots that I left on the little swirlies. And when you're using a few different colors on the swirlies, makes them look really cool. So I added a center line and also just few lines to the side, and I'm letting that first color to be more dominant than my darker color. So now I'm gonna add a few shadows on those leaves and going around and just adding a few shadows here and there. I'm adding a little bit more darkness on the green parts right around the area where it's overlapping with the red, and that pushes my red forward. Outlining most of the leaves. Sometimes only one side, sometimes 1.5. Skipping forward, added outlines on all the red leaves, and also kind of like a center vein darker. So what I'm going to use is a oil marker. It's for glass or tiles, and I will go and outline every single leaf, and I'll add a little more to the elements. And if you don't have that, you also can do those lines with white, and that pretty much is going to show you your elements a little bit more. So either gold or silver or white, whatever makes you happy. I do have the video if you don't have the marker. I bought those markers on Amazon. They are just oil permanent markers for glass. And on the end of the video, I also have a short version of what happens on the second bottle. I'm not using the gold marker, I'm just using paint, and I'm using white paint to do kind of almost the same effect. So you're gonna see them, both bottles next to each other, so you can decide on what you want to do. I love to use the gold or silver because especially for the holidays, it just makes it more festive, or at least that's what makes me feel. So all the lines I am going over with the gold, and that marker shows even on the dark glass, so it's really nice. Like, you can add few swirls or dots outside your paint. It looks really cool. I love what happened, and instead of making the center yellow, I made it gold, so gold dots. And I circled all the red berries, which made them a little bit larger, filling in the space a little bit more. Few little streaks here and there just to fill in the space, but it works. If you decide to make a bottle like this with either with champagne or wine or olive oil bottle, don't forget to sign it. I'm adding blue, whitish blue, few areas. I just wanted to pop this design a little bit more, even though I have tons of gold on it. You see how now this becomes really visible. So pretty much we're starting with white and we're ending with white. And I'm just placing the white on the one side of an element. And that pretty much made it look so much better. Let me know if you want me to do a traceable for this one. I will do it for you. But if you think you can manage, it's really elementary and easy to do. If you try it and it doesn't work, you can always clean the bottle with alcohol and start all over again. So there is this one. I am going to sign, or maybe not. We're gonna add a little bit of a light green together with the white, because that was not enough. So this is where I start going a little crazy, because it's so much fun. I don't want to stop, but it makes it really cool. So just have fun with it. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notifications for my future videos. And here's my signature, and right after this one I'll show you the other bottle, what I am doing without the marker, because it still looks great. And these are the colors that I used, and also Mod Podge it on the end after it dries completely. So this is my second bottle, and pretty much you're just looking at just the end. I'm going with more white, going to place more lighter colors everywhere. Obviously yellow is going to be for the center, and you're going to see this next to the other one, and it still looks really nice. I love them both. You gonna go a little bit bigger on the white outlining versus the previous bottle, because you want to put a lot of emphasis on your elements. So you're using the lighter colors. It doesn't have to be white, it could be a very light green for the green, and for the red you can slightly make it pinkish if you like that, or you can just keep it white for the red part. So we are adding a lot more white to our design. It still looks great. And now we're gonna go with a little bit of shadow, so mixing green and blue together. It's a perfect combination. So we're gonna add some outlining and some more depth to our leaves and our lines. So you can do this more summery design with a rose for the center or some other flower. You can use the same shape flower, just different color, and take out those leaves and add normal leaves. You still can have the berries and can be used for different season. But pretty much we're almost there, so you see how much more white we have on this bottle, and even the white going on the black, it's okay. And we're gonna go on the poinsettia. And this is it. So let's check it out, and then we'll put them side by side to see how they're looking. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to see how your bottle turns out. I love doing gifts like this because it adds very personal touch to your gifts, but I still love the gold one so much more with the markers, but both of them will work perfectly great. And happy paintings. Thanks for watching.